City. For Brian Adams, Steve Farhood, I'm Brian Custer. Thanks for watching Broadway Boxing. We'll see you again at the fights.
Welcome to The Thread, presented by Citi.
Hello there, I'm Justine Ward, but Wednesday Addams for the day. Welcome into a spooky edition of The Thread. We will go trick-or-tweeting a little later, plus a throwback Thursday edition of Scott Free with Bart on this Hallows Eve. But we start with a Hans for the New York Mets, and that's their division rival Washington Nationals winning the World Series. Let's do a little past, present, and future for all of you at home. Now, first, the ghost of the past, going back to late May, where the Mets swept the Nats and Flushing. Names like Carlos Gomez seemed to bury Davey Martinez's squad, who ended the series with a 19-31 record. But here's something sweet for you. The Mets went 12-7 against the world champs this year. But an unbelievable turnaround led to the Nationals franchise winning their first fall classic, which of course includes their days in Montreal. They overcame a one-game wildcard playoff, edged the Dodgers in the NLDS, and beat the heavily favored Astros 4 times in Houston. And while DC celebrates, everyone else is focused on 2020. The Action Network has the Stros with the best odds to win the World Series next season, with the Dodgers close behind and the Nats at 10-1 odds to repeat. Now, New York-wise, the Yankees have the third best odds at 6-1, while the Mets sit with the Brewers, A's, and Phillies at 25-1 odds. So let's bring in our panel. They look a little different today. Chris Williamson, a.k.a. Agent J. Interesting that the Phillies, who got Girardi, and the Mets have the same odds there.
Very interesting, Justine. I'm joined here by JJ, a.k.a. Woody, and Scooby Wobe of the Action Network.
I like that.
And fellas, when you look at what the Nationals did this season in the makeup of their group, you do notice some similarities with the Mets team. Great starting pitching, young budding superstars. How likely do you think the Mets can make a run like the Nationals did?
Well, let's go over the Nats season here. 19-31 at one point, and they were the only bullpen in the major leagues that was worse, statistically worse than the New York Mets. So how does that end up winning the World Series? Let's go through the boxes here. You have Juan Soto, a superstar, right, at the plate. Well, the Mets can match that in Pete Alonso. You have superstar pitching in Scherzer and Strasburg that you can continuously go to in a World Series. The Mets have that in DeGrom, in Syndergaard. It comes down to the bullpens. What the difference was the Nationals were able to improve it from being a liability to just simply sufficient. It wasn't great, it was sufficient. And if Edwin Diaz doesn't blow half the saves that he blew, half, not all, the Mets are probably in the playoffs in the same position that the Nationals were in this season. That's the difference to me. Just get someone you can trust other than Seth Lugo.
Here's my problem with that, though. You need your star players to perform on the brightest stage. You look at what the Washington Nationals were able to do. Juan Soto played like a man possessed. One of the best postseason runs you're going to see from a young player. Anthony Rendon was incredibly clutch. How many big hits did he have in big situations, including a homer to get it going in Game 7 against Zach Greinke? And you mentioned that 1-2 punch that the Nationals have. Steven Strasburg has one of the best postseason resumes you're going to find over 5, 6, 7 starts. Scherzer all guts in Game 7. For the Mets to duplicate that formula, you need Noah Syndergaard to be a lot better. We know Jacob deGrom is going to bring it, and he's going to be that sort of guy for the Mets. You also need your star players to deliver in big situations. And I'm not saying that Pete Alonso doesn't have that flair for the dramatic, or Jeff McNeil or somebody else can't be that guy. But to basically say, well, Alonso and McNeil are going to be Soto and Rendon, that's tough to do.
What about Michael Conforto? How big does he have to be in order for this Mets team to make a run?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, Chris, all the guys within the lineup, you think about what Washington had. It wasn't just the Soto and the Rendon show. I mean, Howie Kendrick had two of the biggest hits in the entire postseason. The grand slam against the Dodgers in Game 5, and then the ball hitting off the foul pole. And I loved A.J. Hinch throwing shade at Yankee Stadium for the dimensions. Payback, as they say, language I can't use on the air. But Howie Kendrick hitting the foul pole in Houston, a little payback for some of those words that A.J. Hinch was using. But the point being is the Nationals had guys, Zimmerman, Kirk Suzuki, Yan Gomes, you name it. It's got to be a lineup 1 through 9 that is relentless. And one thing I loved about the Nationals, didn't strike out a ton.
No, they did not. The Mets will definitely have to make sure they are on their A game if they want to perform like the Nats did this past year. All right, we'll have much more on the Mets later in the show.
You know, it definitely hurt me. I hold myself at a high level. You know, the Rams don't take calls on Aaron Donald. The Patriots don't take calls on Tom Brady. You know what I mean? That's where I hold myself in that regard. I understand that you have a job to do. That's the way I took it.
Time for Scott Free as the ghost of Jets analyst Bart Scott joins us. A little Throwback Thursday edition, you could say.
I don't know how I ever fit in this jersey.
All right, to the present. You just heard from Jamal Adams there. Mentioned, you know, Tom Brady, some big names in the NFL. He's a passionate guy, but is his passion becoming a problem?
No, I think it's a little bit of his immaturity. He understands that this still is a young football player. You saw 2 elite players in the same situation. They also reportedly were receiving calls on Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell handled it the right way because he's not his first trip at the rodeo. Jamal has got to understand that business is a business, and it would be negligent for Joe Douglas not to take calls on every player, because if you get one of those Herschel Walker type of packages, no player is above replacement. And Jamal has to understand that every player has a certain value, what it takes to take him off your roster. And obviously, Jamal didn't garner in what they wanted back. So he should look at that like, hey, maybe they respect me a little bit more that the price was so high.
So, Bart, have you ever been around a player that seems to be so much at odds with his team, and how do you fix that?
I mean, after Jamal takes a step back and he takes his feelings out of it, he'll understand that it's a business. And if he doesn't like the way that the Jets are going about business, he has 2 years where he gets the opportunity to be a free agent and get to go wherever he wants to go. Now, when you come in this league, you're drafted. You have no choice where you go unless you're Eli Manning and your dad can pull you out of going to San Diego. But he'll be able to say, hey, I want to go here. This team isn't going in the direction I want to go in. And he'll be able to make that move as a professional. That's a very intimate decision you have to make with your family, your circle.
All right, well, let's go back to business here. The Jets will see the Dolphins this weekend, and there's certainly a lot of injuries when it comes to linebacker. You think you could get in there?
Hey, man.
I know that wasn't your position, but
I can't be worse than some of the stuff I've seen on TV anyway. I mean,
how do you get creative, as Adam Gase says?
Well, you get creative with using Jamal Adams, right? You talk about a lot of these safeties we've seen over the years have been moved into the box. We saw Barron move into the box. We saw Buchanan move into the box. Jamal Adams is a player that should be able to, defend himself in the box as well. And you have to make sure that you put your defensive linemen on the move, slanting gaps, not allowing guys to get up to your inexperienced linebackers so that they can run free. And that allows you to bring, maybe Rontez Miles in at safety and go with a 3 safety package. We used to call it the Spartan package. We used to bring in Eric Smith. He was a guy that, didn't mind knocking himself out for the team.
Here's something frightening on this Halloween. It seems you went trick or treating already because you got the candy. Could the Jets actually lose this game, Bart?
Yes, but I think that the Dolphins understand that they want to lose even more. You see, they've had opportunities in the beginning of games to really show that they're a team that can compete. But what happens with Miami, they've got rid of so many players that they don't have the depth to compete once teams make the adjustment. They're trying to tank for Tua. So I think that you saw a subtle move to ensure, because it got scary last week when they almost beat the Steelers. They was like, you know what? This is too close for comfort. Xavier Howard. Your knee hurts, right? You're like, no, what are you talking about? I feel good. I'm ready to go. No ligament damage. I said, Xavier Howard, your knee hurts, right? Oh, yeah, that knee hurts. I'll take a full half a season pay, go on IR, and we can ensure that Robbie Anderson's going to have a great day.
Jets are 3-point favorites as of right now. Bart, thanks for stopping by, rocking the throwback jersey for us.
The Gene Upshaw.
He is not done yet. He's got more work to do on this Halloween. Be sure to keep it locked for Jets Game Plan at 6:30. Bart and the crew react to the Jets trade deadline decisions, and Janae Coakley chats with Jets GM Joe Douglas. Ahead for us here on The Thread, which of these big-name Mets needs to make the biggest jump in order for the Amazons to duplicate what the Nats did, plus downtown confessionals. That's coming your way next.
The Thread is brought to you by Citi. Know what else is amazing? Sending money to friends and family with Zelle on the Citi mobile app, designed for you to spend less time on it.
Look who's cheap now. You are. And millions more just like you with cheapoair.com. Because when you spend less booking your flight, you're free to do more, see more, live more, and save more. So you can start planning your next adventure. Just download, click, or call and save on the best flights.
cheapoair.com.
Go ahead, be cheap.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker should go hungry because with your help, we'll rescue and deliver 59 million pounds of nutritious food this year. So let's gather together to make someone's day a little more fruitful and a little bit sweeter, to give someone a fresher outlook and make someone smile from ear to ear. Let's dish out the love to nourish our city and its people. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. Help us feed NYC at cityharvest.org.
Tonight, after a big splash.
We thought it was an opportunity where we could add some draft assets.
Why was the deadline so uneventful?
At the end of the day, the offers that they made didn't equal the value that we had.
On Jets Game Plan, presented by Centenary University. Tonight at 6:30, only in SNY.
No better time than Halloween for the latest and spookiest edition of Downtown Confessional. Our panel gets to clear their conscience in front of the masses. Up first today is Chris.
Well, Justine, my confession is that we need to bring back 90s styles basketball. What we saw from Joel Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns last night was exactly what this league needs. You got Karl Anthony Towns swinging on Joel Embiid. They're wrestling like WE style. And then you have Ben Simmons putting Karl Anthony Towns in a chokehold. None of this, oh, let's just be friends, we're all in it together. No, this is a man's game. We need physicality, maybe a little elbow, you know what I'm saying, to the neck, maybe a little elbow to the rib. I don't want to see this all brouhaha, anything. This is man's game. The NBA needs to be more physical. We need to see players going after each other. I'm done with all the let's kumbaya and have a great time. Nah, we're a competitor, and you better be ready to deliver the blow.
Say it with
not
your
into
chest.
the lovey-dovey stuff.
No,
I like
no,
it.
baby. 159 to 156 Rockets Wizards last night. That would never happen in the 90s.
Baby.
Listen, I'm still salty about Spencer Dinwiddie, and as a lifelong Knicks fan, one of the few things that I get to hold on to is the 24/7 basketball culture surrounding New York City that ultimately constitutes the Mecca. Granted, this has to be done because the Knicks are terrible, but nevertheless, the camaraderie is essential to surviving year after year of Knicks ineptitude. When Spencer Dinwiddie talks trash because of their rival's poor performance, that's fine. It's part of the game. But when he takes a pulse of the city, using God knows what as his sample size, and makes comments that are intended to turn Knicks fans on each other, it goes to a different level. Oh, and by the way, he's trying to IPO his contract and look for NYC to invest in his future here. You don't understand what it means to play in the Mecca, Spencer, and from the look of things, you never will.
Well, Wob, Friday night, tell me it's a Nets town. Watch that building and tell me it's a Nets town. Now, guys, I have a little bit of a conflict here because I'm a lifelong Miami Dolphins fan, and I understand the bigger picture. Bart just talked about it a few minutes ago. The Dolphins need to be tanking for Tua. The Dolphins desperately need a franchise quarterback. However, they are playing their hated rival, the New York Jets, on Sunday. A Jet team with all of this turmoil. Jamal Adams talking about comparing himself to Tom Brady and Aaron Donald. Jamal Adams basically telling you he wants to play for the Dallas Cowboys. I wouldn't mind a little more pain. I wouldn't mind a little bit more dysfunction. And normally, I'd be all aboard rooting for my team. But this week, the Jets play the Dolphins. What do I do? Who do I root for? I say now I'm rooting for a tank job. I say now I'm rooting for the idea of tanking for Tua. If it's 20-20 in the fourth quarter and there's some Fitz magic and there are some squirming Jet faces on the sideline, what is a man supposed to do? What is a cowboy supposed to do? Guys,
what happened to loyalty? What happened to loyalty?
Well, loyalty to the tank job or loyalty to Jet Payne? I don't know.
It's tough.
It really is. That's why I'm conflicted.
JJ,
yes, you are.
You got to giddy up for your team, buddy.
Why
you
would
got to be riding those
giddy up in a tank
Dolphins.
job? I don't know.
No, but that day, you let those Dolphins get a win, my friend.
We'll see.
You okay? Ahead on the thread, you guys are going trick-or-tweeting. It involves the Mets, the Giants, the Knicks, and Nets, plus subway costume etiquette. Only in NYC. Stick around, Threadheads.
A better grip, right when you need it. The 2020 Nissan Altima. Now get a low $199 per month lease on Altima.
Get your 2020 Mets season ticket plan today. Be here for all the biggest games. Choose from full season, half season, or 20 game plans. For a limited time, receive an authentic or replica Pete Alonso jersey with your purchase. Visit Mets.com/ticket plans or call 718-507-TIXX.
Looking for Toyo Winter tires at a great price? Town Fair Tire is New England's largest name brand discount tire dealer. So we sell Toyo Winter tires for the guaranteed lowest price. Plus, when you buy your Toyo tires at Town Fair Tire, you get free services for life. Free mounting, free tire rotations, free flat repairs, and free snow tire changeovers for life. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire. 'Cause I know it means to walk along the lonely street of dreams. And here I go again on my.
You realize your vows are a Whitesnake song?
I do. If you ride, you get it. Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
A better grip, right when you need it. The 2020 Nissan Altima. Now get a low $199 per month lease on Altima.
Welcome back. It's time to go trick or tweeting as the threaders join me in Club Justine. Basically, we're going to pull up a randomized tweet for each of our trick or tweeters, one at a time with the reaction. That is hard to say. Some sport, some holiday themes. So, JJ, a friend of the show, John Harper, tweeted earlier that Noah Syndergaard and Michael Conforto, there it is, need to channel Steven Strasburg and Juan Soto if they want to win in October. Are those the two guys on this Mets team that need to make the biggest leaps in 2020?
Well, Justine, it's easy for me. It's Noah Syndergaard because you know what you have in Jacob deGrom. Jacob deGrom has now proven that he's one of the best pitchers in all baseball, hands down, no questions asked. But when I think about Noah Syndergaard, I think about a lot of missed opportunities. Big starts last year, did not deliver when it matters the most. And if you look at Steven Strasburg, that guy's one of the best postseason pitchers now that we've seen in a while. So, yeah, Noah Syndergaard's got to step his game up.
I agree. Jeez. How can I argue against that?
I'd like to see some more from Marcus Stroman as well. Wob, check out this person as no face on the New York City subway. So what is the subway etiquette when it comes to costumes? Because this thing is massive. He's taking up 2 seats, Wob.
I was about to say, this looks like a day ending in Y in the New York subway. So you don't need an excuse to wear this on a New York City subway. They look like that every single day. But you sit down, you can expect people to be bringing furniture on that thing. You're lucky sometimes in New York City during rush hour if you get to sit next to something that looks like that. Or me. I'll be on the subway later looking just like this. Maybe you'll run into me. God bless you. It's New York. Get used to it. Put your headphones on and mind your own business. We're walking over here.
At least,
We're walking over. I heard that accent.
At least it's entertaining. All right, Chris, our boy Kaz tweeted this last night. The Knicks stink, but the Nets stink. Do you agree? Can the Nets turn it around?
I mean, they can turn it around, but right now, Justine, they have no ability to find a great culture and organization when it comes to their offense. Kyrie Irving is doing his thing, but you look at the rest of the team, Spencer Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert, Taurean Prince, they're all over the place. When Kyrie is not doing his thing, they look so out of place. And so, yes, they do have a chance to turn it around, but right now, they're awful to look at. They're awful to watch, just like the Knicks.
Preach.
Right. Disappointing. Okay, JJ, CNN's Twitter has a Monmouth University poll that surveyed adults about their Halloween candy choices. Reese's, or Reese's, depends how you say them, the overwhelming winner. Do you agree?
Yes, I do. I'm all about the peanut butter cups. I actually bought a bunch of candy for trick-or-treaters, and you're wondering what would my go-to candy be. Listen, you could have the peanut butter cup, Reese's Pieces, combine it all into one. So I agree with that survey 1,000%. Peanut butter cups all day.
Always my favorite. Okay,
And
Rob.
candy corn.
Ew,
Yeah.
no. Pass on
corn
the
is
candy
great.
corn.
I like candy
Pass
corn.
on the candy corn.
I like candy
Okay,
corn.
all right.
Okay, Rob, to a more serious topic. Joel Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns got in a major fight last night on the court. It then spilled to social media. We're not going to show any of these posts because of the language. It's pretty filthy, to be honest. What was more exciting to you, though, the actual brawl or the social media fight afterwards?
Well, both. First, the actual brawl itself was the first time I've ever seen an NBA player tap out. I don't know if he intentionally meant to do it, but we saw Karl Anthony Towns get put into a rear naked chokehold from Ben Simmons and tap out. Then you've got Karl Anthony Towns' mom cursing out Joel Embiid as he's walking off the court. It spills over into social media at 3 a.m. Honestly, what do we do with this? Are they going to get suspended? Is there a rule in the CBA that says if you tap out, you don't get suspended? Honestly, just let Karl Anthony Towns shoot a three-pointer. That would be street justice when it comes to street ball. Let him determine if he can stay in the game after tapping out.
Can I put you in a chokehold right now?
Are we going to start screaming? I don't know.
Next. Okay, Chris, Giants are wearing, got to keep this train moving. They're wearing their throwbacks Monday night against the Cowboys. Should these be the regular uniform?
Is it going to help them win? Is it going to help them win?
If so, then
I like
they can wear these every day.
old school look, but honestly, they don't need to be the #1 uniform that this Giants team wears. They need to get their offense in check. They need to definitely upgrade their defense. So I don't care what jerseys they're wearing. If it doesn't give them that rugged New York Giants old school action, I don't need it.
Better product on the field, period. Okay, JJ, Fox Sports officially took the Nats off the never won the World Series list. Out of the teams left, who is the closest?
Ooh, when I see that graphic right there, I'm rolling with the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers been in the playoffs the last couple of years. I believe in their lineup. They have one of the best players in the sport in Christian Yelich. And I think the National League a little bit more wide open than the American League. Otherwise, I would tell you Tampa Bay. I think Milwaukee will spend a little bit more. I'm rolling my main man, Christian Yelich, so give me the Milwaukee Brewers.
All right, well, Katy Perry releasing a new Christmas song tomorrow, the day after Halloween. I love Christmas, but it's
stop it.
too soon.
Stop it. You picked this topic because you knew I was going to go off on this.
Didn't.
Christmas starts the day after Thanksgiving. We could all agree on that. Not the day after Halloween. Way too soon. Even Mariah Carey couldn't get away with putting out another album after Halloween, let alone Katy Perry. I can't do it. You want me to continue to sit here and tell you in the camera? No Christmas too soon. You're going to burn out the songs. I'm sorry.
No Mariah, all I want for Christmas is you on November the 10th.
Too early.
Too early.
I'm going to start singing it in July.
I'm with you, Scooby.
Just to annoy you.
Chris, Peter Body, not a fan of black licorice and the circus peanut candies. Agree or disagree? This is obvious to me.
I hate black licorice.
I mean, this is a popular opinion. This is not a crazy thing to say,
no? It's disgusting. Black licorice is one of the worst candies put on this earth. Simply put. That's it.
So,
Twizzlers, can't go wrong.
That's the game changer right
tonight. Still ahead on the thread for us. Some fans did not take last night's Nationals win well, but it could be a lot worse. We're going to go through some nightmare hypotheticals for New York sports fans next.
The Thread is brought to you by the Citi Rewards Plus card. It rounds your points up to the nearest 10 on every purchase, so you can score big points even on the little things.
Change has many faces, names you'll never know. The bright-eyed, the brave, the visionaries. Where challenges exist, you'll find them. At Citi, we empower people who are out to change the world. Because tomorrow belongs to those who welcome it with open arms. Citi, welcome what's next.
Have you taken a body blow at work? If so, it's good to know that the lawyers at Pasternak Tilker are in your corner, ready to get you back in the ring. Whether you have a workers' compensation claim, personal injury case, or a Social Security disability claim, Pasternak, Tilker, Ziegler, Walsh, Stanton, and Romano will fight for you tooth and nail. Call them today at 1-800-222-WISH. That's 1-800-222-WISH.
The 2019 Cadillacs are made to move and made to shine. Current eligible Audi, BMW, and Infiniti lessees get the super ultra low mileage lease on this 2019 Cadillac XT5 from around $309 per month.
You can experience the entire world right here.
Here at Stony Brook, the faculty treat students more like professionals.
Stony Brook helped me go further faster because I was able to get my bachelor's and master's in 5 years, and that helped me land my dream job.
There is that something for you out there if you're willing to go and find it. Coming together and feeling that sense of school spirit, that is one of my favorite experiences.
From the moment you step into Stony Brook's door, they are already encouraging you to do research and meet with professors. There's more we can accomplish together than we can apart.
Coming up on Loudmouths, more Jamal Adams, plus a little Nets and Kyrie Irving.
And more Halloween. We're going to change to our costumes of our two favorite SNY employees, specifically on BNNY. JJ, you took my costume from last year, but you look much more like Woody than I do. All that and more after you finish up, Justine.
All right, looking forward to seeing those costumes. Time for Survive at 5. Week 9 is certainly scary. Not a ton of layup matchups. JJ, Chris, Maggie, and Dan have the Niners on the road tonight against the Cardinals. 5 of us going with Seattle, who host the Bucks. Julie, of course, has to be different. She takes the Bills over the Redskins since she didn't pick them week 7 like the rest of us. Before we go, a little Halloween hypothetical. Give me a scary sports scenario here in the Big Apple. One New York sports fans might think of as a nightmare.
Yeah, for me, it's easy, Justine. It's the idea of the city of Boston winning more championships. I mean, whether it's the Patriots, the Red Sox, the Bruins, the Celtics, they've seen it all. So the idea of seeing more of those duck boats throughout Boston, nah, I'll pass on that.
And Boston's much more important to New York than Philly because I understand it's Red Sox, Yankees, but there's also the football team, which is rivals with the Jets and the Giants. You have the basketball team with the Celtics versus the Knicks, and now the Nets because of Kyrie. There's more to the New York Boston than just baseball.
My nightmare for New York sports is if the Phillies, the Nationals, and the Nationals win the next 3 years and the Mets are stinking. I feel like Mets fans will be on suicide watch if that happens because the NL East is so dominant right now. I think that will be something Mets fans do not want to see.
See, I'm going with that, but specifically the Phillies because of Joe Girardi. If people say the Mets missed out on him, they're never going to lose.
What could have been, Justine?
Right? Happy Halloween, everybody. Have
You never
a safe
saw this.
and happy night.
You never saw this.
See you tomorrow.
Never.
SNY Play Ball, presented by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, is back, teaming up with the Harlem Globetrotters, looking to help local youth basketball leagues with grants.
A lot of the students are going to be excited when they see the uniform that we could purchase with our money.
Equipment donations, clinics,
Kids were chomping at the bit to get into this particular event.
and special Harlem Globetrotter experiences.
I'm able to be out and showing everyone that I can do stuff.
Does your league need assistance? Apply today at sny.tv/playball.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
The rumors, the trades, the signings. Get the inside scoop as the best baseball minds in the business answer your questions. Plus, break down all the latest Mets and Yankees offseason news on Baseball Night in New York tonight at 6, only at SNY.
Hey, Joey.